Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, Spence, let's trip out.
I'm afraid not every human is as smurfy as they should be, Sassy.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Yeah, certainly. Here we are.
This pizza pie won't pass. Too many calories. Oh, the rest is okay. Natural light! Get it off me! Get it off me!
I don't know the meaning of the word chip.
Documented Geek Day.
All right, here we are back again with Spooky from Spellgrinder. How's it going, dude?
Yo,
Consecutive weeks. That's what is happening right here. We haven't pulled that off yet.
We are getting our shit together, everybody.
Slowly but surely, we have figured out how the calendar works.
prolific. The legacy continues.
So, how did you guys come up with the group? Like, when did you form and everything? And
Ooh, came up with the group conceptually in 2020. I think I named the band. I came up with like a lot of the concepts for the songs, a lot of the lyrics, and laid down my first demo for Grimoire late 2020. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. This is gonna be a whole band. And needed a name. Named it. Trademarked that shit. Pissed all over it, and then just started going nuts, like writing and recording awesome material, finding members, and getting shit tight, and now here we are.
yeah,
Speaking about all right, so something I was curious about, like I know there's probably a very simple explanation. Spellgrinder. The name Spellgrinder. Where does that come from?
It is it's an obscure gay wizard dating site.
huh.
I'll be honest with you, I'm thrilled to death that was the fucking answer. There's a lot that comes to that.
Yeah, dark web, it's some dark art shit, it's dark. But no, I wanted a name because I wanted it to be a heavy metal band. And I knew I was going to do some weird stuff with heavy metal.
Right.
I was going to kind of break a couple rules. And I wanted a name that just sounded like a fucking heavy metal band. And there was all these this, thatter names, butt scratcher, cat kicker, just
100%.
So I wanted a this, thatter kind of name. And then I was, I was thinking Spellbinder, like the fucking like the Foreigner song, and
oh yeah, okay,
or just not Foreigner, who I don't know, but like just no, but Spellbinder, that's not cool, that's not metal, and then like Spellbinder, it's like ooh, like it wasn't amazing, but it was like cool, and then what no one does. Amateurs don't do this. They don't go and type their name into like Google and see if there's already 1,000 other things called that. There's nothing called Spellgrinder, so boom, it was mine. I came up with a logo, and I made a Facebook page, in an Instagram page, and I just started like going out and putting out whatever scraps I could, and just putting out a single at a time.
Yeah.
So your first stuff, if the original incarnation, like the original idea, the thought, and then the name, your original stuff, you were just saying was like it was you, and then you were like, I got to find members now. How much stuff was just you? Like if you were doing original recordings, were you just like drum machine and then bass lines, or were you like sitting in there with a Mac and just fucking recording and dropping shit on Cakewalk? Like, how were you fucking doing? Well, Cakewalk.
Yeah. But then going and getting players.
Right. Yeah. Obviously. So that would have been.
Well, but so with the first album, on the first couple recordings, I'm playing everything. And then I got Stone on bass. So he starts playing bass starting around like Ready, Willing, and Evil, mid-catalog. Stone's on bass. On drums, it's usually me or Easy Mysterio.
Oh yeah, I did read about that. Your reference in Craig's questions for Pop Horror. That was an interesting thing. It's because honestly, what's weird is it immediately reminded me of obviously this is Spinal Tap, and also for that matter, Fear of a Black Hat. Except for I think they kept losing their DJs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, managers. They always had the same DJ. They kept on losing managers.
Managers is what you're right. There's like one was a drive-by, one was
Whitey DeLuca, you know.
Holy shit! I've got to watch that movie again.
Oh, it's a good one, man. It's a good one.
And I've not thought about that movie since like the mid '90s.
Yeah, you got hats now, motherfucker.
Yeah. So just this has nothing to do with what we were talking. See, it's starting to happen already.
We told you.
The spark.
It's not on purpose. It's just the way the brain works.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so I write everything myself, everything I record, but I have a band, but I have members come and go.
Right. You have long-lasting members, though. I mean, you have.
Yeah. Well, we're all adults, and right. I've had members that have had kids, had to go. I've had members that have just like had life crises and had to go. I've had members that just didn't have the life skills I needed them to have, and they had to go. And we live out in the desert, limited resources. So I got a lot of really talented friends. I came from LA, like live session touring stuff. Have some really talented friends, and make it work. I just want to make the most butt kicking, like awesome songs, cool production, but still dangerous, Yeah. A little, just little messes ups in there, just some cool shit. And then I have a dude, I found him on Fiverr. He does mixing and mastering for me, because I've always tried to mix and master my own shit, but like I'm just okay. My stuff kind of has a glass ceiling when I mix and master it. And I had this guy, Philip Gruber, and he's in Spain now. And that guy just makes us sound fucking slamming.
There's a fullness to the recordings that I was listening to. I mean, legitimately, there's a full orchestrated sort of sound to it. It works out very well.
Oh, it's everything all the time. It's just fucking slamming, dual like rhythm tracks, harmonized solos.
Absolutely. Everything goes up where it needs to, drops where it needs to. The right parts are emphasized. I mean, this is casual listening on my part. Craig is far more familiar with you than I am. I was when we were talking about doing this, Craig he had wanted to get in touch with y'all and talk to you, and I was in Florida in a place that has only heard the word reception, but doesn't know what it means, and especially how it applies to electronics. Mm-hmm. So I literally spent all day running back through like a week's worth of back and forth with people, trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing. And several other bands were name dropped because that's how the conversations work. So I'm like, who are we? What are we doing? What am I listening to? And there you are. I enjoyed it, honestly. to me, there was a mention in the article. I think Craig said that it reminded you like almost of a glam rock punk approach to horror, which is a fair. I would call it a fair description. I mean, it's definitely there. I mean, I was thinking the Joy Killer TSOL sort of had an influence in there. I mean, at least some of the songs I was listening to. Which also leads to another thing. The song that I was listening to as I listened, I noticed that they changed. It wasn't a solid style, but there was a feel. It was definitely the same band, but the style changed. It wasn't all just fast, all just slow. I mean, there was a lot of melodic shit going on too. It was entertaining. It did pull you in.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Trying to make it dynamic, trying to make an album that kind of showcases the full range. Also trying to build a really cool live show. And there's a lot of bands that, I mean, my favorite band ever is the fucking Ramones, you know?
Yeah.
Second favorite band is the fucking Sex Pistols, you know? And like, you know, awesome bands.
Yeah.
Not like the most fucking dynamic band, you know, but like that's what I like. I like minimal, dangerous, you know. When I was growing up, I was really into punk rock and I liked some metal, but it was stuff like Dio or like Earth Sabbath, like stuff that was, you know, exotic and kind of campy, like in the 90s, you know. But I thought it was, oh, this shit's fucking rad. I started listening to like Stryper because a coworker gave me a VHS tape and a cassette tape, like early promo VHS, where they're just like, yeah, man, I play 21 drums and 21 cymbals because that's what's rock and roll to me. You know, and just like this fucking shit, you know, like, and I would just get high and watch it, and it was fucking hilarious. But then I'd be bumping that shit in my car, and it's like, well, who's laughing now, man? Like, God's laughing now.
Right. If you go back, anybody that runs across this video, this particular recording right now, please, for the love of God, and you're going to find that really funny if you look up their history. For the love of God, go look up Stryper, any one of their videos that used to get played on MTV, and watch that shit. He's not joking about the fucking drum set. That shit was absurd. He could play it. Absolutely could play it, but it was like there was way more drum set than what was required for what they were doing.
Yeah, it's like, that's what's rock and roll to me.
No, I got two of the same size chinas because I can.
Yeah. Oh, man, can you imagine just lugging that shit around?
Yeah. Oh, like, God. You know, that's the funny part. You know they did. You know they did. Like there may have been a point. Like once they hit MTV, I'm sure they had a couple of dedicated roadies that were like, "This is our chance to get in there." But before that, zero doubt in my mind, they were cruising in a station wagon, like, "God damn, 2 fucking bass drums plus a backup. What the fuck was I thinking?"
Yeah. You gotta work yourself into a corner. Like you need to make it to that next level. They had to pray harder, and it worked. Yellow and Black Attack.
No, that is absolutely wonderful. Not enough people name drop Stryper anymore. Like seriously, they were a lot. No, what's fucked up is like they were a lot bigger than anybody who listened to them would claim now. Oh yeah, no, I knew the songs.
Yeah,
yeah, it was. Shut up. You're listening to Shout at the Devil and then immediately switch it over. And after that, you call up the Testament. Don't fucking lie to me.
Yeah. That shit is awesome. Oz Fox shreds fucking gnar.
Yeah.
That's, there was that whole
name, something sweet.
Like the end of the 90s, early 2000s, the hardcore thing that popped up. Some of the harder hitting hardcore bands, at least in my opinion, were all Christian bands. Like they were angry. They were so
stuff.
This was like, go listen to All Out War, dude. Those guys were pissed off.
Yeah.
But they were also out there to save their soul.
Yeah, that stuff was rowdy.
Yeah.
Sidetracked again. Sorry.
So what would you say like is the most inspiration for your band, like music wise?
Oh, well, it's slightly morphed just conceptually with the first album. I wanted to have a band that hit like Pantera and Danzig. Like those are two bands that don't really sound the same, but they both have bluesiness in them. I wanted to have like the razor sharp kind of like heavy riffing of Pantera, like have that groove, have that boogie, but then like have like the dark and sexy kind of soulful evil shit of Danzig, and just make something that appealed to me, that I thought was really cool, that was like, something that a young punk rocker would get into heavy metal wise without having to go through the fucking bridge of Striper, that's going straight to anal. Like this is like lube.
You gotta ease it in, man. You don't just start there. Nobody's fucking paying you for that.
Yeah. So the kids, the style, I got into New York Dolls, Stooges, and then I was raised on Alice Cooper, so like that stuff. When I'm putting out the first album, I'm thinking, I'm doing this, and people are immediately saying, "Oh, that sounds like Motley Crue." It's like, what? That sounds like Alice Cooper. It's like, huh? And it sounds like Rat getting raped by Megadeth. It's like, that's cool. And it made me, like we're being like, and those things are all, I listen to all that stuff, that's what it's not what I was trying to put forward, but I think I was arriving at all the, because I was putting in Undercover T-Rex, and I was putting in Undercover The Sweet, Undercover Moth the Hoople, Undercover Bowie, and with the heavy metal, and I was putting in Anthrax and Judas Priest, just trying to do something that I wanted it to be heavy metal, like minimal, not maximal, because I'm not a virtuoso. I come from punk and then like rock and roll, and I'm a little fleet fingered, but like put something a little more like stripped down and heavy metal, with the new album that's coming out July 4th, Spellgrinder, July 4th, new album, Planet of the Vampires.
Independence Day, people.
With that album, I'm just leaning into the strengths. That album it's like a Ultimate Sin, Ozzy Osbourne meets Shout at the Devil, it's
straight 8 beats all the way through that. That's
it is 1987. It goes hard. It punches like the last album. But I'm not playing a Randall. I'm not playing all the Randall. I'm playing Wizard, and has a different sound. It's that JCM 800 shit,
Yeah.
The Randall shit was cool. I love that it was so fucking metal. It's the Scott Ian signature amp, because I love Anthrax's guitar sound, and I love Dimebacks, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do Scott Ian's guitar, but I'm playing on dime guitars with the Bill Lawrence bridge pickups, floating Floyds, and I'm scooping the fuck out of the mids. I'm doing all that shit, and it forced me to play in a way that was kind of different than my natural playing, and I thought it was great, With this album, fuck that. I'm gonna put it in my sweet spot, and I played just a year of playing shows with those songs. Some of those songs are hard as fuck to play.
Yeah.
like I didn't write any parts where I can just leave the fucking microphone stand, like when
That's it. That's exactly it. There's not a musician on this fucking planet whose first album is the fun one to play.
It's just like, it's cool, but then you're like, oh fuck,
I was like, I had a drummer. Like I play drums. This is what I do. I enjoy it. I'm also fucking old and fat. It used to be, fucking am now. I can still do what I used to do, but definitely not for the same amount of time, and definitely not with the same amount of enthusiasm. So if my band pulled back together and we were deciding that we were going to play some shit off the first album, we might do one, but after that, I'm going to smoke a cigar and have a drink, and then I'll come back and we'll play more.
Yeah.
Like there's like
Yeah.
even the albums, it's like you listen to the first album next to the second one. So in the studio, it's intricate, it's amazing, it's fast, the changes are quick as shit. There's fucking fills that are incredible in it. I'm very proud of it. The second album is like, nah, just count that shit off and run. Like 100%, because I don't want to have to do it live.
Yeah, yeah. That another thing with the first album, like I made it too hard for a lot of local talent to play on drums. So with the new album, it's a lot more like just meat and potatoes, like not so much of that like
meal.
What's that?
Meat and potatoes are the base of any good meal, though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's argue with meat and potatoes.
Well, it has to always be danceable. It has to always have like a swing, a pocket, like that's
there
the
has
shit
to be an
I
ability
like.
for the average person to nod their head. Just a
Yeah.
simple little head nod in conjunction with what they're hearing.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I actually have a question for you when we come back, but we're gonna break for a moment. When we come back, I would actually like to know a little bit more about the players that you are using. So we'll get into that in just a second.
Nerf flying colors with a different skin, so it's easier to catch and throw. Hey, you want hot hands? You got hot hands.
Catch the 2 hot new Nerf flying colors and catch this.
Okay, guys, let's. You need a move. You need a hand. Got to be a man. This is Nerf flag football. It's tougher than touch.
So, how long you been working here?
About 3 weeks now.
It's not easy, you know.
I know.
Everything here has to be so perfect.
Keep up the good work.
At Papa John's,
Thank you.
our mission is to deliver the perfect pizza.
Spring Garden, Battleground Avenue, and West Market Street in Greensboro, and Eastchester Drive in High Point.
And we're back.
Woo! Mini beer. I don't do beer much anymore, man. Normally, it's just fucking rum. It does make a difference. It's just one of those classics that's now it's already happening. Here's the thing, though. There is a classic statement. I've had this debate with people many a time. There is a difference between beer drunk and fucking liquor drunk. And I don't care what the type of, I believe that there are different types of drunk, like tequila drunk, completely different than vodka drunk. Yeah. Jaeger drunk, different than everything because it freshens your breath on the way back out. It's fucking wonderful that way. Beer drunk is happy drunk. It's the happiest fucking drunk in the world. And I could not tell you why. It's a filling, burpy, gassy, horrible thing, but it's very happy. I'm in a great fucking mood. I could not, like, literally, my brain fried a little bit in Florida, but this is, I'm in a good mood.
All right.
All right. Spooky. Let's talk about your wife. That's a weird intro.
Yo. You son of a bitch.
That's it. Seriously though, take it away. You met her. I guess you guys got together and the band was already going. It was formed after. Like how did that happen?
Oh man, I met her long before the band started. I was making a record in LA, and she was getting Pilates from the wife of the guy I was making the record with. And that wife is the sister of Eric Melvin from NoFX.
Oh.
And so they introduced us, and she was a Fox. She drove like a really hot Camaro. And she had this rock blog called hardrockchick.com, and she went to like 350 shows a year. And she was the official like rock writer for the Grammys and shit. Like,
that's awesome.
She's a bad bitch. And yeah, I tricked her into liking me. I took her to a art concert, and then I took her to Cheetahs, the strip club.
Cheetahs? Is that a national chain? Holy shit! I thought only existed.
Oh man, Cheetahs. Yeah, Cheetahs.
Actually, chances are it's probably not. It's like 8 different people across the country that think they had a great name, but nobody wants to sue anybody in case. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably not even a national chain. They're probably all the same guy. Though, like, if they introduce each other, they're gonna be like,
Crazy Girls was the other one that I would like. My bands used to play in Cheetahs and Crazy Girls all the time when I was a Sunset Strip, piece of shit.
What we think of
we ended up getting married. This is 10 years ago. We just had our 10-year wedding anniversary. Yeah, there's some if y'all go on our Facebook or our Instagram at Spellgrinder, one word, you'll see us with Elvis. We did an Elvis wedding 10 years ago, and we still love the King, TCB. And so yeah, I started Spellgrinder with her full support, and she's a total fucking metalhead goth. Like she's bad news, I like the metal, but I'm a punk rocker, I'm a sleaze bag. So like I wanted to do like a fucking awesome heavy metal band that just hit like, and just have her just be like, oh damn baby, like you're so fucking cool. You're so fucking cool. Like the things that drive me are they're weird, but getting my wife to think I'm cool is a motivator. So I made this record, and we're playing shows, and it's cool. But then I went and saw Motley Crue, and Motley Crue had chick backup dancers, and I was like, oh fuck, that's what will separate us from we're a band that's image conscious. We have a look, we have a vibe, we have presence. I bring like fucking fog machines and shit, we're low budge, but we're ambitious, right? But I was like, oh, that's what separates you from the fucking boys, is like having a goddamn go-go dancer just going to town, like like the fucking Skanker and Mighty Mighty Boss Jones.
Arguments on all of that. It's actually shit. Madness fucking had a dancer, right? I mean,
yeah. She's my Flavor Flav. Like she's my Cold Lantern. She's also the S1Ws. Like
if the next time you guys set up a show, you don't have at least a minute on stage where she's got a clock. Just at least 1 minute.
She doesn't like Flavor Flav. She likes Tasty Taste. She likes Tasty.
Like, Jesus Christ. Flavor Flav. Oh my God. Now, how much I just realized how much time I see. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it this time. I was going to go off about fucking Flavor of Love. I'm not going to do it. That's got
it's the worst of those shows. Rock of Love is surprisingly way less rapey than Flavor of Love.
Rock of Love was the first time I ever heard the term "threw me under the bus." First time I ever fucking heard it, and at the time, my current wife was my then girlfriend was like, "You never heard that before?" I was like, "No, why the fuck would I hear that?" What throws you under the bus? They backstab you. I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was because they were on a fucking bus."
Yeah, it's like El Duce shit.
Apparently, it's a classic fucking phrase. What a stupid phrase.
Well, you were insulated from that phrase because no one ever threw you under the bus.
No, it's because I'm sure somebody did. There's no way I've made it to this point in my life without pissing somebody off that much. I am loud.
Never found out about it. Like, I think that's cool. Like.
All right, so back to the wife.
My wife, Nephthys Demores. She's
that was the thing. You want to give the spelling?
Yeah.
Phthys.
It's Egyptian.
Yeah, see, I figured it was, which is why I couldn't figure out how to say it.
Yeah, it's a weird one. We're looking for some names that were Spellgrinder names.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate. Actually comes out the spooky. Do you want to go with the full one on that one too? You can, because it works. Both. It was also the reason why your drummer's name works so damn well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a mysterious guy.
Yeah, very.
He operates in the shadows. I can't really talk about Easy Mysterio.
Very angry.
He's the county clerk is investigating him right now.
Oh, I'm happy.
You know, he didn't dot some T's and cross some I's. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Exactly. Even worse, he probably did exactly that because
he did. Yeah, it's a different way. Yeah, Easy Mysterio, like he's a case of hand-eye coordination. Like, you know, he is horribly maimed and disfigured.
Right.
So Easy Mysterio does appear in the last 3 music videos of ours. On the first video, you'll see Nephthys is actually sitting in playing drums because, you know, she's a fucking genius. You know, smart and beautiful. But yeah, like from then on, Easy Mysterio playing in all the videos, but he's horribly disfigured. And so he does wear a mask in every single video. You can go to our YouTube channel at Spellgrinder 666 because Spellgrinder was already taken on YouTube. So Spellgrinder 666. I was going to do 667 because it's just one better than the Beast.
That's the name. Yeah, that's the name.
It's taken. No, I'm just kidding.
It definitely was. It had to have been. There's what?
Yeah, Spellgrinder is an obvious up the middle name. I get into it with people about that shit. I got into it. There's these nice guys. They're young guys in a band called Powerhouse. And it's like, you know, guys, there's already a band called Powerhouse.
Several.
Yeah, well, I saw like a hardcore band called Powerhouse play in 924 Gilman Street in like 1997.
Oh, I guarantee. Of course you did. That was.
And I never saw anyone break fucking strings on a bass before, but fucking who Powerhouse? What Powerhouse?
Ow! I mean, that's a physically impressive feat right there.
It's insane.
That's first off. That's
so I was just like, you know, like, why don't you guys like have like an original band name, you know? And they're like, well, you know, Spellgrinder is not that original because there's all these grinders. Like, yeah, but there ain't no fucking Spellgrinder.
There's not a Spellgrinder.
Google it. Like,
when you Google it, sign up to the different social media that pops up. It's important.
Yeah, no. So we're changing our name to Jefferson Starship. So, you know, because apparently it doesn't matter.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Subship. Yeah. You know, it gets me. Like when you talk about names, what's funny to me about that, I mean, obviously we already covered this, how you went about it, which was probably a good way to go. It's great to have that at your fingertips to be able to figure out like a way to just look the shit up, find out if it's a name that exists. What kills me, like when you go back to the 90s, the hardcore push, right? You guys know Haymaker. And did you ever hear a band called Haymaker? Mm-hmm. How the fuck was that not already 12 other bands' names? Was that not already a fucking name?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, those bands at that level that could get out there, get their name spread, get in the publications, get on like little shows, get on, you know, play clubs, get on tours. Right. Like they were busting their ass. And for every one of them, there was 10,000 that they just had the same fucking name, some cool name. And they never did nothing beyond the backyard. Like my high school band is called the Antisocials. And there's other bands called like Antisocial, but they ain't called the Antisocials. And I still piss all over that because I'm making a new album with my sister. She's the bass player. You know, like Ramones style punk rock. Like that's where it's at.
Yeah.
But you know, fucking
I did it again. Sorry.
You got to have a name. Like it's frustrating when I'm like playing in bands with guys and it comes time to name it and they always want it to be their fucking idea. So you'll say something brilliant, something sovereign, and they'll be like, well, what if I fucking change this letter? What if I change this thing? It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, for one thing, no. You know, and then like another thing, then they'll start just like barfing band names that exist on you.
Yeah.
It's like, do your fucking homework. Like, you knew we were going to talk about this today. Like, it's frustrating. So like Spellgrinder, like, I'm the fucking boss in Spellgrinder because I don't have the patience for that shit.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of scenarios that happen being an adult. Band members come and go. Life does a lot of things, but you got someone running your band like a business, it will endure. So like, you know, we've had a lot of long-time members, Stone Wolfgang. He started off as Stone Shaxul, but then Stone Wolfgang became his name because I don't know. I like Shaxul better. I like Shaxul. You know, that was a cool name, but but at least it's not our normal names, you know. Spellgrinder had to be one of those bands that had like cool names, like Spooky Von Amduat. Not my real name, but I liked Eerie Von a lot. I think Eerie Von is a cool fucking name. He's a cool fucking dude. And so like Spooky Von, but like that's a little too like on the nose. So Amduat, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, Spooky Von Amduat, you know.
Yeah.
And it keeps you guys from being able to look me up by my real name and figuring out that I'm a world-class piece of shit.
Hey, you know what, though? To be fair, just throwing it out. I have once again never known a musician, and actually, like if you went out of your way, if you were trying to make your living this specific way, there's some shit you're gonna have to fucking put up with. It's not easy. It's not simple. First off, there's a work ethic involved that people don't consider. Like, I mean, like you have that Tenacious D song where they talk about it's funny because if you've ever been in a band, you know it's true. You're willing to wake up at the crack of noon. You know what I mean? Like, it's shit like that. Yeah, it's funny, but at the same time, yeah, you're waking up at the crack of noon. You're not going to bed till 8 in the fucking morning. It is definitely still a job. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I'm a world-class piece of shit. Yeah, chances are anybody who has actually made it doing this shit could look back and say the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You know, like we all have internet access. We all have cool rooms with cool shit in it.
Yep.
Got a fucking My Pet fucking monster. Love that. like this, we made it. Okay. A lot of our buddies, they didn't. You know, like we stuck to our guns. We're old and cool, but like it's, you know, we had to be true blue. Had to make some wild decisions, and like now we can look back like, well, we made it.
Yep.
You know?
That is a very true statement, and a sad one too, because it is. It's a very true statement.
Hey, rock and roll that's a commitment.
Yeah.
You know, horror. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
Like just being an obsessive person that collects, that you know, that analyzes. It's exhausting for us and people around us, and clearly we've cracked the code. You know, so we got fucking internet access. We're here.
Yep.
You know,
The internet access thing made a difference for everything.
Yeah.
The ability to actors you saw in one movie and try and figure out if there's other parts of their filmography, added to which the ability to look up a director and be like, I like this movie, but I don't recognize anybody in it. You find out the director's done 5 other things that you also love. That's a wonderful thing. I think people take it for granted now. I mean, shit, just what did we grow up with? Laying on a bed looking at a fucking cassette interior?
Oh fuck, or like some like jacked off copy of Fangoria that like you just had to like just like tear apart to find out shit. Like everything $12 British music magazines, just everything was, you really had to work for that information. So yeah, we have the internet now, and it's like, oh shit, you have to have discipline to leave the house now because this is what we live for. But I think younger people, they never starved for that information, you know?
Yeah.
I used to have to fucking stand by shit. I would go buy albums because the cover was cool, because the font was cool, because they had good haircuts on the back. But like you would put it on and it might not like really move you at first, and you had to just fucking eat it. And you had to sit there with that album for the next month and just be like, well, there's got to be something cool about it. And you had to fucking eat every fucking piece of shit that you brought into your house. And I don't think people have that anymore, you know? Like,
yeah.
Well, we talked about that before. Like my way of experiencing new bands growing up was to either I saw them open at shows for bigger bands that I wanted to go see, or B, I would find a record label I'd never heard of before and suddenly just grab everything on that fucking label if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Metal Edge record, like for example, you pick up Guar and then you have Metal Edge, right? Or Metal Edge.
Metal Edge.
Metal Blade.
Down the rabbit hole in that shit, found old Gangrene albums and shit like that. And then, you know what I mean? Like it turned into an entire thing that doesn't happen now. Like all you have to do is be like, who was that dude that played with that one person at the show that one time with the guy in it? And you have everything you fucking need.
Yeah.
Which, on the other hand, that is cool. It disappoints me and upsets me a little because it seems unfair.
Yeah.
But you can do it.
Yeah, but like here's the deal: the guys that want to like exploit that knowledge, they can become more powerful than they ever would have become on just fucking like obscure fanzines. Like all that is there, you can go and be fucking insane. You know, we're in it's some like metal encyclopedia website. Spellgrinder's in it. Like some awesome fucking dude went and did his goddamn homework. Everything he said in there's the fucking truth. He doxed me. He knows my real fucking name. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what's that guy's fucking heart? You know, like that guy is kicking ass. He's doing it right. Like, that's how I fucking got into shit. Like, that's how I did it. You know, it was just like, it was a fucking virus. It was like, you know, my taste spreads like a fucking herpes, you know, just like, it's this, and it's spider webs, but you know, better than all those bands I've ever heard. There's one band that's better than all of them, and it's called Spellgrinder, because it's the sum of all those parts, and all other bands that are not Spellgrinder are fucking bullshit.
Correct way to self-fucking piss everybody off and then follow it up by being like,
yeah, and I'm just kidding. but you know, if you have a band, that's what you should be fucking doing. Like basically, like I could probably be better at whatever the fuck I do, but I do it the way I want to do it. Like the things that make me go like, oh fuck yeah, like those are the things I do. The chord changes, the hooks, the harmonies, like the subject matter, like that's what I use to build the songs, like shit that cracks me up. Like Ready, Willing, and Evil on our first album. That song's about a guy who wants to sell his soul to the devil, but the devil doesn't want his soul because he's a fucking loser, you know? And like he wants to, like, you know, he's like, oh man, I don't have the money to my bills. I want to ride a motorcycle. I want to do all this kind of shit. And I'd sell my soul to the devil if I could, like, and then he's waiting at the crossroads and nothing fucking happens. And that's funny to me because it's like all these like satanic guys, like, why would the devil want you? You're a liability. The devil would want Taylor Swift. The devil would want, you know, someone with a little more influence than, like, you know, the lead singer of like Crap Vomit, you know, like that's
Crap Vomit. That's, you know what?
That was almost the name of Spellgrinder. Spellgrinder had some I have Photoshop, so I'm just finding cool fonts and writing cool shit, and yeah, I had to go through it to get to it, you know.
We our third or second break. When we get back, I think it's a possibility we're going to be discussing the lesser known influences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. I know we all have them. We've all got those bands that we are, I don't want to say ashamed of, but ashamed of fits the fucking bill. So That's going to be it.
Watch me trick Fred. I'm the Fruity Troll. Give me a Fruity Pebbles and you can fly.
Well, okay.
Orange, cherry, grape, lemon, and lime flavors.
Ready for takeoff. Bonnie!
Gotta fly.
Pops Fruity Pebble cereal, part of this nutritious breakfast. It's a free Flintstones water squirter.
Gotcha!
With these wet and wild dudes, you can squirt up to 6 feet.
Wipe out!
One free squirter and marked boxes of pebbles.
The dreaded beast versus the savage hunter. Aliens versus Predator with awesome new predators. Clan leader attacks with whipping dreadlocks. And Stalker, glowing in the dark, fires his spear. Suddenly, flipping up his attack spikes, the wild boar alien charges. And the ferocious mother alien in her monstrous hive traps Spiketail, then covers him in ooze.
Ooze 'em!
Who will survive? Aliens versus Predator. Queen Hive playset comes with mother alien figure and ooze. Other figures sold separately.
And we're back yet again. So before we left, we were talking about the deep, dark, dirty secrets of bands that influence you and or that you enjoy that you would not normally admit to. For me, we discussed this off camera. I'm going to say it again anyways, because as I mentioned before, till the day I die, defend. The Moody Blues. Like, I like some heavy shit. I like some heavy, dark, mean shit. If it's got a chugging guitar line and a blast beat behind it, I'm there for it. I am 100% down. You can be the most talentless band on earth, but if you're angry, I'm in. Let's go. Let's talk. And then there's the Moody Blues. I fucking love it.
Yeah, no, they're rad. See, I thought that they were just fucking like gnarly because I thought that Knights in White Satin was about the KKK.
Thought about it that way. Yeah.
Like different nights, you know.
Knights in White Satin. The romance and the fucking violin in the song and these.
Yeah, well, the Mellotron fucking shit. Yeah, like. Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Fucking bullshit in that song. And I can say that because I like them. If you don't like them, shut up. It's a great song. I can say I like them. The dramatic bullshit in that song. Oh my God. Like, there is no reason somebody like me with the musical taste that I generally carry would be like, this is fucking rock and roll.
Yeah.
It just fucking is. So that is my deep dark secret, which is not that deep and dark. I mean, there's no way you become that popular as a band without a bunch of other people also being like, these fucking guys.
Now that ingredient makes your rock and roll better. Like you got to think like rock and roll is a gene pool. Okay, if you're just listening to the offspring of offspring of offspring of offspring, you were listening to some inbred shit. And every once in a while, what's going to save it is injecting something new into the fucking bloodstream. And all your favorite metal bands, you know, from that level, they all listen to the goddamn Moody Blues. They're fucking great.
Absolutely, they did. They won't admit it. There's some that won't admit it.
The cool ones admit it, you know. The ones that were getting laid were getting laid to it, you know, in a fucking van.
Virginia like a rock. The Other Side of Life. Fucking Karate Kid soundtrack. Fuck you. Brilliant song.
Good stuff. Yeah. You're the best. Yeah, no, that's my guilty pleasure. It's like if I could sing one fucking song in the whole fucking world and just nail it, it would be the jingle to Soul Glow.
Oh, that's not a guilty pleasure. That's a glorious pleasure. I've seen it.
Just let yourself. I can't even touch it. Like,
history right there, if for no other reason than it was so self-depreciative and obnoxious and hilarious.
Yeah. No, and that guy was a vocal gymnast. Like he was going all over the place, you know. So yeah. No, you know what? Nothing wrong with Moody Blues. Moody Blues, I got multiple records and
also great album art. That was the other thing. Their fucking album art, through the fucking roof. Like at a time, I mean, there was a lot of bands that were doing the same thing, but most of their contemporaries might have something decent, but it was going to be a photograph that had been old school manipulated and fucked with in order to make it look a little darker, a little more something. They were doing straight up dragons art. They weren't fucking around. They were out there like, hey, light up a wizard's face.
Yeah, no, everything in it was van worthy. That that could have been on the side of a van. Like shit was rad.
Oh shit, that's true. That's exactly it. Like everybody.
And it knew it. Like, so back then you didn't have the fucking internet. Like maybe that band played your town, maybe blah blah blah. But usually you're high, you're sifting through a record bin, and you're just looking at shit that has a cool name, has a cool cover, has a cool album title, has a cool song titles. Like maybe you see a picture of them in the back and they're like, fuck. Yeah, those guys can fucking, those guys can party. And then that I need to buy this shit. And Moody Blues, they were able to sell albums based on things other than singing,
Oh, absolutely they were. And what's funny about it, like the statement that you just made, I've never thought about it, but you're 100% correct. Being high as fuck and sifting through record label or like albums until you run across a random picture that's like, well, that's fucking weird. Does not match the prism behind it. Definitely this thing that people just pissed on. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and back then it was $1. Now dollar bins are like $17 bins. It's a different kind of thing, but dollar bins used to like 50 cents for $1. You just fucking clean up. And
there was also, so my stepdad, right? Warren, Ohio, but he went to school in Texas. And here's the thing: every time he would go home for the summer, he would go home and he would sell any album that he had because he could sell it back to a record store, get some gas money, go home. But he wasn't the only one. So any record shop in a college town had just massive selections of shit you would never find anywhere else. Incredible shit. So when he came back from his summer break or whatever he was doing, he would go hit him again. He'd buy all his shit back plus everybody else's shit. I mean, it's
genius.
No, it was fucking. And every year he would do the same thing: resell the shit and go back. I just think it's the coolest fucking. Like record stores were a different moment in American musical history. You know what? Actually, I'll give it to cassettes too. If just because that's where I grew up on.
Oh yeah, my first cassette was a Mondo experience for me. It was "Da Bomb" by Criss Cross. Well, I mean, that was the first one I ever bought with my own money.
Yeah.
The first one that was ever given to me was "Dangerous" by Michael Jackson. Like that was a fucking huge thing for me. The first tape I ever had was the Police Academy fucking 4 soundtrack, like Citizens on Patrol.
We got some wings
on headphones, being like, what do cool people listen to on headphones? Like, because you see cool people with headphones, like, what the fuck are they listening to? They're probably listening to the Police Academy 4 soundtrack. Fuck, I don't know. Citizens on Patrol.
Bought with my own money. The first tape that I ever bought with my own money was actually the Kinks. It was "Come Dancing with the Kinks." It was
yeah, that's a good one. Craig, what's your guilty pleasure?
Yeah, that is
my pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Please, Greg.
Honestly, you named it already. I'm totally going with Michael Jackson. Like, he's a big part of my life. Always was. Like, there's a lot of story behind it, but yeah, he can fucking jam.
No, he's the best.
Right. It's Thriller. Thriller is the story behind
it.
Yeah. Thriller's fucking insane. Off the Wall's insane. Fucking bad is insane. Like it's just like, how can anything be that good? Like, I will go and listen to weird remixes of shit from the Captain EO soundtrack because that shit's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Like, my base positive experience as a kid was going to fucking Captain EO because nothing was as cool as Captain EO. Like, I'm a Southern California kid, so like, annual Disneyland passports. Well, when I lived with my dad. When I lived with my mom, we were just like straight up white trash, and we didn't do anything cool. Did chores, but well, my dad got to do cool stuff, you know. Fucking Disneyland. Yeah, man. Michael Jackson's where it's at. Moody Blues. Yep. Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Okay. I want to say something that is just like out of control because I like tons of shit, but I'm going to say Ace of Base.
I'll give you this for Ace of Base. I will say one thing for Ace of Base. They were fucking everywhere. Once I heard them the first time,
yeah,
heard them everywhere I went, and not just one. All the fucking one-hit wonders. You only hear the one song. They had like 2 or 3 off that album that was just everywhere all the fucking time.
Back-to-back hits, #1 hits. They were huge. It was across multiple albums. They were slaying, and also in their albums that didn't hit, their producer, their songwriters had cracked the code. So they knew how to like make these amazing, like they're fucking Swedish, right? Sweden knows how to crack the code. There's another band called The Ark that I love from Sweden. They're kind of like neo glam rock. They were like big around like 2007, you know? But Sweden fucking brings it.
They know how to write a good dance song.
They don't fuck around. Yeah, ABBA. I'm a huge ABBA fan, but like ABBA, like I'm good friends with Johnny Araya, the brother of Slayer's Tom Araya, and him and his girlfriend Brittany. Like when we're hanging out, we're not listening to violence. We're listening to ABBA. We're not listening to Blood Come. We're listening to ABBA. We're listening to the greatest pop music of all time. But Ace of Base, and I don't, my wife brought up that a lot of people now, and it's shitty because a great interview question is what's a guilty pleasure? And a lot of people now are getting beyond feeling guilt about guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
It's a good thing though.
It's good. It's good for the human psyche. It's bad for the interview because it's just like, well, your question's bullshit because I don't feel guilt, but it would be, you know, it's just like, you know, so I'd like to challenge my audience. I fucking love Ace of Base. I was cleaning my floors over the weekend. I had Ace of Base blasted in my headphones. My phone gave me a notification, said, turn your fucking shit down. You're going to have permanent damage because of Ace of Base. Are you going to go? Are you going to risk it all for Ace of Base? And I was like, yes, I am. So fuck you. You know?
All that she wants is a baby, and damn it, I am going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't, if the last thing I hear is Ace of Base, I'm okay. Like, that shit is fucking dope. So, you know, I also love Bryan Adams. Like, like, Please Forgive Me. You know, I mean, Summer of '69, that shit's all fucking dope. But like the power ballads, the Robin Hood soundtrack, the fucking Three Musketeers, all for one, all for love. I fucking love that shit, you know? And I'll tell you right now, like, yes, that's something that lived inside of me. I was like, no, tamp it down. Don't fucking show. But on our next album, on Planet of the Vampires, coming out July 4th, 2024. Buy it on our Bandcamp page. Probably my website's going to be ready there by then. It's Crypt of Spellgrinder. It's not ready yet, but it's probably going to be ready in the next week. We're going to have our own website. But we have a monster ballad. You know, back when I was a kid, you had that commercial during Howard Stern. It's like, they taught you how to love. And they had like these fucking jackasses skydiving, listening to fucking White or some shit. And this is a real monster ballad because it's called Bride of Frankenstein. So you guys go check out the Pop Horror article because Planet of the Vampires It's in there. Like it's there getting fucking views on YouTube. I'm gonna ask you guys to take it down when I release the album, probably, but maybe not. I don't know. Like, I love it. I love it. That we have also on our YouTube channel, we have Bride of Frankenstein, and it is a fucking monster ballad. It's got a piano sound that hasn't been used since 1991. It's a fucking like chorused out electric piano. Like you have to have fucking 9 cojones to use that kind of stuff in your established heavy metal band. And like, so I love Ozzy, you know, like a lot of people like, oh, well, you know, that album by Judas Priest is not heavy metal. That's hard rock. It's like, no, fool, that's heavy metal. And you're fucking wrong. And like, I'm sorry, like heavy metal didn't start with Slipknot. Like it did, like sometimes heavy metal kind of sounded like hard rock because that shit was very angular and abrasive and it cut and it was cool. And so Spellgrinder, we will sometimes challenge where the line of heavy metal is. And I really like what Ozzy was doing with his early solo albums and like the, you know, the textures on like, you know, Mr. Crowley, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like we use synthesizers, not all the time, but like when Spellgrinder busts out the synthesizer, watch out, you know, like it's a mission statement. Like the thing is, it's like those guilty pleasures convert the non-believers, you know, because everyone arrives there, you know, everyone that is a musical expeditionary that's going out there all the time and just chasing what makes them excited about music. And like any drug addict, you kind of got to switch drugs sometimes to maintain the high, to maintain, and we all explore it in its music and hard rock and heavy metal. It's a culture and it all kind of works together. And you'll find like a lot of our favorite heavy metal bands, they didn't listen to Black Sabbath didn't listen to heavy metal, you know, like I listen to fucking Elvis, you know, I got 2 goddamn Elvis tattoos because I love the King. And Danzig loves the King, and that's what gave Danzig an edge on his first 3 albums.
That and fishnet shirts. All right, if we're gonna give him his fishnet shirts too, that shit's important.
Yeah.
Seriously. I know it sounds like a weird thing to point out, but like legitimately, look at the fucking. I mean, mother. I mean, fishnet.
Yeah.
Also,
that's where it's at. We love that shit. Like that's where it's at. It's perfection.
Wait, not mother.
Practical.
Danzig
I don't
4.
know. Like he made that Veronica movie.
Yeah, don't talk shit about that because
I cannot sit through that.
I own Veronica. Veronica's fun for me because we make our own videos.
Yeah.
And you see he's watching Argento and he's watching, you know, the thing like I have Death Rider too. Like
oh, do you?
Yeah. I'm looking for Grub Girl. He's fucking the porno. Like I have like I fucking love Danzig, and I love when his shit is perfect, but then I love when his shit's lo-fi, and I love that he has so much confidence in his concept that he'll just put stuff out. Now, sometimes I think like I would have I would love to work with him. Like, I don't know. I think he would benefit from working with me. Like, we would make a kick-ass album, you know? Like, I want to put him back in that first 3 albums. Like, you know, I'm a bad motherfucker. I like the blues. I like AC/DC. I'm stripping it down like that. I really love that mid-tempo to fast tempo, just like that vibe. Danzig 4 is cool, but that's when he starts kind of going into a zone where it's cool, but I'm not going to shave my head because of that album. I'll shave my head over the first 3 albums, you know, like I'll pass out pictures of Danzig at the fucking airport because of the first 3, and you know, a couple other things, but like not not when he goes industrial. Like that's not for me.
Yeah.
You guys ever see the Cradle of Filth horror movie?
I haven't. No.
Okay, so I don't remember the name of it. It's a Hollywood video. It was one of the last videos I ever rented. It was a DVD. It was the last time I ever went to a store physically and got a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Filth. It was a Danny Filth, right? Am I right? Is that the right name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it been that long? Oh, it's okay. It's been a long time. So they made a horror movie that is, I wish to God I could remember the name of it. It was all practical effects. It was all barely disjointed fucking attached shit to create this fucking movie. It had some ridiculous imagery in it, but overall it was a horrible movie. But I would still suggest it to people. Not because it's Cradle of Filth, but because it was like, I mean, they fucking tried. They believed in what they were doing. Like I can get behind that. You know?
Cradle of Fear came out in 2001.
I remember
I'm cheating, baby. I'm cheating. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. There's a woman gives birth to like a spider thing, and it's like there's just shit that happens in it that's like you're not going to see this in another movie because other people wanted people to buy the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something very, very pure about things being either self-funded or funded by people that are tolerant of what makes you weird, you know. The independence, like true independent film is not independent film anymore.
Yeah.
That movie,
You know?
Cradle of Fear. That movie, legitimately, you know that like you could watch it and you can feel that somebody was like, I want to see this shit happen in a movie. Let's write a story shit happen in a movie.
Yeah.
Which is write a movie.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's Diamond Dave. He's coming hanging out.
Oh, there it is.
This is the best like $2 I've ever spent in my fucking life. You know, like you just busted out like you're at a family reunion. You know, oh fuck. All right, so this might get a little heavy. My grandma died last week. Grandma Cutchin, rest in peace. I went to her funeral on Zoom. It was very much like this interview, except for a little different.
Yeah.
And Diamond Dave just was like,
I'll tell you all about it. I got no love. Oh God, I'm running.
Yeah.
If I was experiencing a Zoom meeting in which I was attending a funeral, and occasionally somebody was popping in with a fucking top 40 talk DJ shit from the morning, being like, whoop, just occasionally during it, it would take some sting out for me.
Yeah. I thought I was doing the fucking, you know, I was doing some heavy lifting. You know, it was pretty somber. Believe it or not, it was pretty somber. It was kind of like a bummer.
Yeah, that's shocking.
And I was like, you stupid pieces of shits. Like this is on Zoom. Like don't get too heavy. On Zoom.
That is it's fucked up. Is I've actually considered getting a soundboard and setting up different samples for no other reason than I think it would occasionally be funny to just throw a gunshot in the middle of a conversation.
It's funny, yeah, like that morning DJ shit. Like that shit's fucking funny. Like, it's wildly entertaining. You don't need the gimmicks, but like they don't hurt. I got some friends, like local awesome friends, called Sticky Doll, and they have a podcast called In Bed with Sticky Doll. And they got the most fucked up shit happening at all times during their interviews, like sound bites. That Macho Man, they summoned the Macho Man on a Ouija board, and like Demon Macho Man kept on interrupting an interview I was doing with them. It was fucking rude as fuck, but you know, what are you gonna do? Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's one thing. Spellgrinder fucking loves professional wrestling. It's not really.
I was actually going to
I have
ask
a
that.
song called Crimson Mask that it could come out one day. It's not horror. And everything we do is horror. And so like my love for wrestling kind of needs a different outlet for, unless I want to do something very horrible.
Yeah.
In Crimson Mask, you know.
There's showmanship involved in wrestling that applies to horror.
Yeah, I mean, like fucking Undertaker was fucking around with some dark shit.
Yeah.
Well, even Sting being talked out of the fucking the Daylo shit into the Crow version of Sting.
Yeah. Yeah, the happy guy tights to like, yeah, you know whose idea that was? It was Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon came up with the idea to make Sting like the Crow.
I think the whole, like, I'm not a wrestling, we've talked about it before. I'm not a wrestling person. I gave up on wrestling. Really, when I still watched wrestling, Andre the Giant was still alive. You know,
Okay.
it was there after that, it all, I don't want to say it seemed faker. That's not the right way to put it. It just, the storylines, like what was going on, didn't feel as intense. You know,
Yeah.
like lifting.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I was the same way. I got into it later in life. Like I didn't like the Attitude Era at the time. I love it now.
Yeah.
It's such a great antidote for the
I'd say just reality.
Political correctness of these days, like seeing like Vince McMahon used the fucking N-word and then go straight into a fucking bra and panties match. It's just like, this is refreshing. Like this, and then fucking Undertaker comes out to Limp Bizkit, like because he's a biker now. He's the American badass, or Kid Rock doing his shit. Like that shit, like in the late 90s, I was not a happy camper, you know. I was a punk rocker and I was really not loving where life was going.
Yeah.
And I retreated into just fucking like scaling back from what all the bands I like listening to. So Stooges, New York Dolls, but like Kinks, Beatles, the Zombies, Noi, Lou Reed, Velvet Underground, like every fucking thing. Duke fucking Ellington, Robert Johnson, everything. But because I hated the late 90s and early 2000s so much, it was such a bummer for me, you know? And but now I can watch the Attitude Era and just like see, I don't know.
Now, I mean, you can see the steps. They are there. They definitely lead up to what exists.
Yeah.
That's the same as discovering punk rock because you first were introduced to NoFX and then finding out the Ramones existed. Like it's similar to that.
Yeah.
Running back and seeing where everything came from.
Yeah.
Which I would actually say for the music that you guys are currently putting together, kind of similar. I mean, there's a lot of influence there. And if you know any of it, it leads to other shit you maybe didn't.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is probably one of the better compliments I could give somebody.
No, I appreciate that. That's heavy. I love it.
That actually, by the way, rounds us off, I think, for the night. This was an absolute blast. This is one of the more entertaining conversations
had
in a while. Well, no, that's not true. Actually, everybody's been fairly entertaining. This is one of the ones that managed to free flow its way into a bunch of stupidity without going feels that it wasn't even about what we were talking.
Yeah,
we weren't that
Invisible
sidetracked.
Oranges. This is metal. This is metal.
This is metal. This is metal. If you, before we go, if you would like to, pineapple. If you would like to, one more time, remind people where they can find your merch. Remind people where they can find albums. Run through the list. Let people know.
All right, the place where you can just go and buy everything you want is on our Bandcamp. We're called Spellgrinder. One word, Spellgrinder. We got our first full-length album available right now. It came out within a year. It's still new. It kicks ass. It'll fucking blow your goddamn mind. A lot of people think it sounds like if Glenn Danzig played with Mick Mars and Warren DeMartini. Yeah, Ron Conflict from Final Conflict says it sounds like Mick Mars playing with Glenn Danzig and Warren DeMartini. So, hey, that doesn't suck to me. I love that. Yeah, go do that. Get a T-shirt. All of our artwork and our album covers are done by David Paul Seymour, who's an awesome heavy metal artist. Does a lot of cool stuff for a lot of cool bands. Check him out. Check us out. Go to our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube, Spellgrinder. And we got some kick-ass videos. We talked about Nephthys. She's a stone cold fox. You could see us sweating our ass off playing in direct sunlight in the fucking desert. Kicking ass, slaying. I'm playing a Solar guitar because I have a Solar guitar endorsement deal. Because we know that we have, that neon green pointy energy that we have to spread,
Yeah.
That's cool. Neon green pointy energy. The fact that needs to be a fucking album title.
Yeah. Working up to that one. That one's going to be our think piece. It's going to be based on Michael Jackson, the Moody Blues, and Ace of Base. It's going to be a concept album.
Dude, that's an album I'd buy in a heartbeat just for the description.
Yeah. It's appropriate to listen to on an island or on the Alps. It's actually written to appeal to a teenage girl in Ohio. That's a market. They're buying a lot of records these days.
Yep.
What? We got to write songs that appeal specifically to the Midwest. It's very important.
Oh yeah. I have one right now. I'm about to put it out on GeoCities. It's called "Fuck the Coasts," and it's just basically about just like the insulated part of the country.
Yeah. That's fucking fantastic. This is a pleasure.
Yeah.
All right, so Spooky Spellgrinder, thank you so much for coming on. This was
dude.
Sleep blast. We would again, hopefully the next album and/or song that you drop. If you want to come back on, please contact Craig, contact me, contact anybody. We'll happen again. This was a wonderful time.
Cool. Well, thanks, gentlemen.
Yep.
And on behalf of me, Craig, freedom. Behalf of me and Craig and freedom. See you next time.